Ahmad Pasha al-Jazzar, also known as Ibrahim Pasha, and commonly referred to as Jazzar Pasha. Al-Jazzar was born in 1720 in Bosnia. He rose from relative obscurity to become one of the most notable military commanders in the late 18th century Ottoman Empire. He was also the governor of Sidon, which is in modern-day Lebanon, and later Acre, which is in modern-day Israel, in the late 18th century. Jazzar Pasha is best known for his role in the late 18th century conflicts in the Levant, particularly in the Siege of Acre, where he defended against Napoleon's forces. His leadership style was marked by a strong centralization of power and a harsh approach to governance. He implemented strict control over his territories and is infamous for his use of terror and cruelty to maintain order. Despite his brutal methods, Jazzar Pasha was effective in consolidating and maintaining Ottoman control in the region. Jazzar Pasha responded to European perceptions by saying, "They say al-Jazzar is cruel and barbaric, he is only just." In 1756, Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar made an exit from Istanbul for Egypt with Hekimolu Ali Pasha. In 1758, al-Jazzar developed a close friendship with Salih Bey al-Qasimi, who was a Mamluk, and the Amir al-Hajj, commander of the Hajj caravan. After returning to Cairo, al-Jazzar entered the service of the Mamluk Abdullah Bey. During his time in Abdullah Bey's service, al-Jazzar learned how to speak Arabic, learned the skills and knowledge of the Mamluks, and adopted their dress code. When Abdullah Bey was assassinated by Bedouin rebels, al-Jazzar decided to avenge Abdullah's death. He caught around 70 of the rebels that planned for the assassination and beheaded them all in a single night. From then on since, the people of Cairo would refer to him as al-Jazzar, which means the butcher in Arabic. He gained respect and admiration from the Mamluks of Egypt for his loyalty towards Abdullah Bey, and for suppressing the Bedouin rebellion earned him a welcoming into the Mamluk ranks. Among those impressed with the loyalty and courage of al-Jazzar was Ali Bey al-Kabir, who adopted al-Jazzar as his protege. Ali Bey appointed al-Jazzar Sanjak Bey, district governor of Cairo. Al-Jazzar was tasked with enforcing law and order in the province, but was also assigned to discreetly eliminate Ali Bey's enemies. He spent his life suppressing uprisings and rebellions against the Ottoman Empire. He re-established centralized order in the Arabian Peninsula, particularly Egypt, where Ottoman rule and influence had weakened. While al-Jazzar was handling state affairs, he also assured the training and education of the soldiers. He was an intelligent commander and a competent administrator. At dusk, he would dress up as a civilian to gather news and intel from the streets. In his late 70s, al-Jazzar was put to the ultimate test as Napoleon Bonaparte had plans of expanding an empire to the east. Napoleon Bonaparte, the renowned military strategist and emperor of the French, harbored grand ambitions that extended beyond the borders of Europe. His desire for territorial expansion led him to contemplate a conquest of the East, envisioning the establishment of a French empire that spanned from the Mediterranean to the heart of Asia. One of the pivotal episodes in this ambitious campaign was the Siege of Acre in 1799, a critical juncture where Napoleon's dreams of Eastern conquest faced formidable challenges. In the late 1790s, Napoleon set his sights on Egypt and the Middle East, envisioning the establishment of an empire so large it would reach India. For this vision to become reality, on May 19, 1798, he sailed from France to Egypt with his army of 40,000 men and his navy of 280 ships. After 1.5 months of sea voyage, on July 2nd, he reached Egypt and swiftly got a hold of Alexandria. After conquering Alexandria, he had his eye on Cairo. There he defeated the Mamluk Sultan in the Battle of the Pyramids. He stepped foot on Cairo on July 22nd. However, his ambitions expanded beyond Egypt as he sought to extend French influence into the Ottoman territories and challenge British supremacy in the Mediterranean. Having taken control of Alexandria and Cairo and losing control of the territories under Cairo, despite having his ships destroyed, Napoleon Bonaparte was adamant on continuing his push on the Ottoman territories in the Middle East and advanced towards Syria. Having captured an Ottoman fortress at El Arish and Gaza, he was looking to cement his foothold in the Levant. In early March, his troops reached Jaffa. Napoleon had to win Jaffa before he could advance any further, and the whole expedition's success depended on its capture. The city was one of Greater Syria's main mercantile centers and had a harbor that would provide vital shelter for the French fleet. On March 18, 1799, the French army arrived in front of the fortress of Acre. Napoleon suggested he could seize Acre under a week without breaking a sweat. Conquering Acre meant Napoleon's road to Damascus, Baghdad and India would be open to conquer. But Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar had other plans in mind. After gliding through Egypt, Napoleon thought conquering Acre would be easy, as al-Jazzar was over 70 years old. Napoleon Bonaparte sent a letter to Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar stating, "Here I am in front of the castle. Taking the remaining few days of an old man's life will gain me nothing. I do not want to fight with you. Befriend me and surrender the castle to me." Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar's reply was as follows: "Thanks to God, we have enough strength and our hands are holding weapons. We will spend our remaining few days of life in battles with infidels. My Sultan did not make me a vizier to surrender this castle. I am Bosnian Jazzar Ahmed Pasha. I will not give you an inch of land without reaching the level of martyrdom." After exchanging letters with each other, war was inevitable and the cannons were loaded. Jazzar Pasha had heavily fortified the city of Acre. He reinforced the existing walls and built additional defenses to make it a formidable stronghold. The city's fortifications included walls, towers, and ditches, making it difficult for the French forces to breach. The conditions within the besieged city were harsh, leading to disease and attrition among the French troops. The defenders took advantage of these circumstances, making it challenging for Napoleon's forces to maintain a prolonged siege. Napoleon was ready to step foot into Acre, but the British appeared on ships and raided the French navy. The British, who didn't want French influence to grow in the Middle East, they were anchored off the coast of Acre and aided the Ottomans' troops with cannon fire from the sea. To avoid the range of the cannons of the British ships, Napoleon and his men pounded heavy artillery on the other side of the fortress for weeks. After the cannonade started, Napoleon sent 2 envoys to al-Jazzar to surrender the castle to him. Both French envoys were executed by the Ottomans. This angered Napoleon, and on the 46th day, the heavy artillery made a hole in the wall of the fortress. As French troops progressed, al-Jazzar ordered his men to blow up the armory in the area the French were marching through. The French troops took a heavy blow and were forced to retreat. The following few days of retreat, the attacks around the destroyed walls became much more frequent. The morale of the French army was at an all-time low and were unenthusiastic while attacking the walls. On the 52nd day of the siege, an Ottoman contingent of 3,000 men and supplies arrived from Istanbul, further demoralizing the exhausted and hungry French soldiers. Although Napoleon was adamant from pulling out of Acre for 2 more weeks, he got little to no result from his successive attacks during the 64-day siege and had to retreat from Ottoman territory. Napoleon's first defeat came from an old man who he thought wasn't competent enough, honored Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar by stating, "If I had not been stopped by the Turks at Acre, I could have conquered the whole East." In 1805, he also stated, "If I had been able to take Acre, I would have put on a turban, I would have made my soldiers wear big Turkish trousers, and I would have exposed them to battle only in case of extreme necessity. I would have made them into a sacred battalion, my immortals. I would have finished the war against the Turks with Arabic, Greek, and Armenian troops. Instead of a battle in Moravia, I would have won a battle of Issus, I would have made myself Emperor of the East, and I would have returned to Paris by way of Constantinople." Jazzar Pasha's successful defense of Acre became a symbol of resistance against foreign powers and a testament to the enduring strength of Ottoman military leadership. The episode also marked a rare setback for Napoleon, whose reputation for military success faced a formidable challenge in the Eastern Theater. The Siege of Acre remains a significant chapter in the history of military strategy and resistance. Ahmed Pasha al-Jazzar's tactical brilliance, combined with the strategic use of fortifications, alliances, and guerrilla warfare, proved instrumental in withstanding Napoleon's assault. The defense of Acre stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who resisted foreign incursions and the complex interplay of military strategy and local dynamics in shaping historical outcomes. Pasha's defiant and successful stand at Acre not only halted Napoleon's march onto Damascus and Constantinople, but also put an end to his dreams of an empire in the east. Napoleon's subsequent military campaigns, despite ultimately resulting in failures, earned him the longed-for place in the records of posterity. But long before Russia and Waterloo, Napoleon was handed a decisive early setback by a Bosnian-born Ottoman commander of Acre. Pasha al-Jazzar continued to serve Acre until his last breath. On May 7, 1804, he passed away in his 80s due to tuberculosis.